this baby hit 8 miles. You're gonna see some serious.
Good evening, welcome. It's live, it's Saturday night, and we're coming from Rostrevor here in County Down, Northern Ireland. How's it going, everybody? Yes, it's Big Nerd Pub Quiz, number 11 this evening. Good to have you with us here today. Thank you very much for joining. A massive hello to everyone out there. Welcome if this is your first Big Nerd Pub Quiz, and welcome back to all of those who've been playing over the last few weeks. Loads of things to plug tonight. We've got a new radio show coming up, a new EP, some podcasts and blogs, and tonight an exclusive look at a new music video produced by myself for my mates. That, and along with 8 rounds of really tricky trivia. You've got it all coming up in the next hour, so stick about. If you've played before, you know how it's done, but if this is your first time, this is how you play Big Nerd Pub Quiz. Alright, so here we go. Here's how you play. So, like I said, welcome to Big Nerd Pub Quiz, of course. This is basically how you go. You can play two ways. First of all, you can play by old-fashioned pen or paper, or use the Google form in the link below in the YouTube description. You can play as a team or individually, it's up to you. You can actually stream this service over Zoom every Wednesday and Saturday night. Open the Google link and then enter your email address and answer the multiple choice questions as they are asked throughout the night. There are 8 rounds with 6 questions each. There's only one correct answer per question. Once the quiz is finished, simply hit submit and you'll get your scores at the very end, but stick about to see what the answers for the quiz at the very end. It's recommended that you stream the quiz on a laptop or a television and play using the Google form on your phone or another device, or like I said before, just play old school, play with a pen and paper. Like I would respect that so much more. Don't forget to share your picks, of course, using the hashtag BigNerdPubQuiz. We're on all the social media channels. We're on Twitter, Instagram. We've got our new URL, Big Nerd Pub Quiz at YouTube, of course, and on Facebook. So all your shout-outs, keep them coming throughout the night. I know I keep on getting inundated with these, but yeah, thanks to everyone who's given the shout-outs just before the quiz. I'll try to get them all as best I can throughout the night. Coming up, we've got the Game of Thrones quiz on Monday, the 27th of April. Stick that in the diary. That's courtesy of my friend Sasha, who's written the quiz for me. She was actually in Game of Thrones, so she really does know her stuff. Also coming up, May the 4th, we've got the Star Wars quiz. Stick that in the diary as well. And for all you Potter fans out there, we've got the Harry Potter quiz. Yes, I know everyone's been begging me for that one, so yeah, I've caved. We're going to do it. It's going to be a Harry Potter quiz Monday, May the 11th, 2020 at 8 p.m. Don't forget, every Tuesday at 2, I do a kids quiz, so you've got little ones knocking about and you want them to have something to do for an hour, which is vaguely educational by all means. Every Tuesday at 2 p.m. we do the Big Nerd Kids Quiz. And don't forget to like and subscribe the YouTube channel. If you like what I'm doing, share with your friends. And of course, if you like what I'm doing, by all means, donate to the PayPal and the Patreon. The Big Nerd Pub Quiz will always be free to play. However, if you can support the work that goes into making this a little bit easier, please consider donating as little as £1 to the PayPal or become a Patreon via the links there on the screen. Massive thank you to all my supporters and all my listeners out there. Thank you so much for making this what it is. It's an absolute joy and an absolute pleasure. And something I've been sitting on for a wee while, but starting on Monday, I'm actually going to be starting my own radio show, this Mark Hughes Breakfast Show on Zest FM Classic 80s Hits. I've spelled breakfast wrong. I've just massively taken ages to get this to come together. But yes, Zest FM, so zestfm.co.uk is the link for that. But I'm going to be doing a breakfast show, playing lots and lots of classic 80s hits from across the spectrum there, all the kind of stuff I really like. Anyway, without further ado, we're going to kick off before we kick off. Just a big shout out and a big thank you to Rebecca Kowalski, who's listening in with her husband, who always plays every week. And she made me this. It's basically made out of wood burning, and I don't know how she does it, but she showed me. I think she uses like a soldering iron to actually make this, but this is absolutely amazing. Thank you so much for sending me this. It was really lovely to get. But that big shout out to him, big love to Rebecca and her husband who watch every week in Milton Keynes. Okay, so the time now is just gone past 8, and we're going to kick off tonight with Big Nerd Pub Quiz General Knowledge Round. All right, so general knowledge round this evening. Like I said before, the best way to play the general knowledge quiz is just to keep reading newspapers. Yeah, by all means, let me know. This is the only way you can really win the general knowledge quiz. And I know a lot of the news is, based around the certain thing that we're going through at the moment. But there are other bits of news out there. So anyway, we're going to kick off tonight. Round 1, question 1. So here we go. Round 1, question 1. Out of the 4 mentioned there, which country's football league was cancelled this week and declared void? So round 1, question 1. Which country's football league was cancelled this week and declared void? Heartbreaking that. It's and I know there's a lot. I really do miss football. I should have been at. I think Norwich were meant to be playing West Ham today, but yeah. Really missing football at the moment. Anyway, here comes your second one. Round 1, question 2. Take away that stinger. It gets a bit annoying. So round 1, question 2. Which popular playwright was born 456 years ago this week? So round 1, question 2. Which popular playwright was born 456 years ago this week? Happy birthday to him. Yes, born on the same day as St. George's Day. So happy belated St. George's Day to all my English viewers out there. Round 1, question 3. What was the name of the leader of the People's Temple cult who led a mass suicide in Guyana in 1978? So I'm looking for the name of the leader of the People's Temple cult that led a mass suicide there in Guyana in 1978. Absolutely. If you know the circumstances surrounding this, the phrase drinking the Kool-Aid comes from this. But yes, I'm looking for the name of the leader, the very charismatic leader of the People's Temple cult who led a mass suicide in Guyana in 1978. Round 1, question 4. Kim Jong-un was on the news for being in hospital this week. But what was the name of his grandfather, who was the first leader of communist North Korea? So round 1, question 4. News out of that country, obviously very tight. And earlier this week, I was actually looking at, or even today, there's rumors going about that Kim Jong-un might actually not be alive. And that's coming from the New York Times. But I'm looking for the name of his grandfather. So Kim Jong-un. His name of his grandfather, who was the first leader of communist North Korea. Round 1, question 5. Due to social distancing measures, how many of the 650 members of Parliament are allowed into the chamber at any point? So I don't know, Parliament came back after its recess there, and yes, due to social distancing measures, only allowing a certain amount of MPs into the chamber. And of course, one of the things is they're actually put up a big projector screen for some of the members of Parliament who actually can't get to Parliament or unwell. But round 1, question 5. How many members of Parliament are allowed into the chamber at any point during this crisis? All right. Round 1, question 6. Final question of tonight's general knowledge round. What is the name of the company that's launched the Starlink satellites and will launch American astronauts into space for the first time from Florida since 2011? So the name of the company that is launching the Starlink satellites. I don't know if you've been going outside to look at them, but apparently they do create this amazing... they follow each other, so they create like a train of satellites. So yes, if all the stargazers out there, if you do get out there and look at them, and I've seen people post photographs of them and they look amazing. So, but I'm looking for the name of the company that's launched the Starlink satellites and will launch America's first astronauts into space from Florida since 2011. All right, here's your round 1 roundup. Like I said before, we're going to go through every question once, as always. At the very end of the round, so if you've missed them, if you've come late, obviously you can pause the stream at any time and go back and forth, but do play along. This is round 1. Which country's football league was cancelled this week and declared void? Number 2. Which popular playwright was born 456 years ago this week? I'm looking for the name of the People's Temple cult who led the mass suicide in 1978. Kim Jong-un, I'm looking for the name of his grandfather, who was the first leader of communist North Korea. How many MPs are allowed into Parliament at any one time, or allowed into the actual chamber, the House of Commons chamber, during social distancing? And the name of the company that's launched the Starlink satellite that will launch an American astronaut into space for the first time since 2011. That's the first American manned launch since 2011. That should be coming up soon enough. All right, I actually forgot to mention, yes, if you're playing tonight, you could be in a chance to win a Northern Ireland Tees t-shirt, a Big Nerd Pub Quiz t-shirt from Northern Ireland Tees, our sponsors there. I've seen some photographs of you guys actually out there wearing them, and I have to say I'm very, very impressed. That's NorthernIrelandTees.com. Use the discount code BIGQuiz for a 10% discount. It's not just Big Nerd. It's not just the merch there, but also we've got there's tons of other really funny t-shirts, so do check them out and do support them. The business is fantastic, and the t-shirts are really, really high quality. And of course, the Enerzade energy drink, you can win a trial pack of that. Use the code BigNerdQuiz for a 25% discount from those guys. Yes, I received my sample pack this week, and I have to say it tastes fantastic. Yeah, but it's like I said, very high energy. So don't be drinking too many of them at once. Anyway, but thanks for watching. We're going on to next round of Big Nerd Pub Quiz tonight, and that is history and politics. All right, tonight's history and politics. A lot of the times when I'm researching the questions, I try to get as many of them from current events and looking at events which have happened, on this day in historical times. So tonight's history and politics quiz, all these or most of these events took place on this day X amount of years ago. So here we go. First question, round 2, question 1. The start of the Gallipoli campaign in 1915 is marked by Australians and New Zealanders today. What is today known as? So what do they call that day? And I know someone was saying to me that I think it's a bank holiday in these two countries. So they actually do celebrate it on the Monday, but today is the actual day of this particular day. So the start of the Gallipoli campaign, 1915. They celebrated the first one a year later, but it was marked by Australians and New Zealanders today. So what is that day known as? I know Jazz and Mary. Jazz should get that. My buddy from New Zealand there. So round 2, question 2. Francis Crick and James Watson published their article, Molecular Structure of Nucleic Acids. It was the first article about the discovery of the structure of what? It's a tricky one, I know, but yeah, break the question down. I know it sounds pretty hectic, but nucleic acids, I think that's the key word there. So Francis Crick, James Watson, they went on to win the Nobel Prize, I believe, but when they published their article, Molecular Structure of Nucleic Acids, it was the first article about the discovery of the structure of what? I had to be very careful about. I'm not a scientist, so I had to be very, very careful about the wording of that question. But yes, I'm looking for the discovery. What was the first article about the discovery of the structure of what? Okay, round 2, question 3. The Carnation Revolution overthrew the oppressive fascist regime in which European country? It happened today in 1974. So the Carnation Revolution overthrew the oppressive fascist regime in which European country in 1974? Now, interestingly enough, the Eurovision Song Contest was actually going on that night. And the signal to begin the revolution was when this country's Eurovision entry came on the TV. So although the song itself was kind of not a classic by any stretch of the imagination, it was the signal for this revolution to start. So in 1974, on this day, the Carnation Revolution, which country did it happen in? Round 2, question 4. On this day again, in 1859, ground was broke on which major engineering project connecting the Mediterranean Sea to the Red Sea? So round 2, question 4. On this day, 1859, ground was broke on which major engineering project connecting the Mediterranean Sea to the Red Sea? Round 2, question 5. Born on this day in 1599, who became Lord Protector of the Commonwealth of England, Scotland and Ireland in 1653 after the English Civil War? No, I've got those dates mixed up, have I? No, I haven't. No, for a second I was just like, wait a second, doesn't make sense. No, no, born on this day, 1599, who became Lord Protector of the Commonwealth of England, Scotland and Ireland in 1653 after the English Civil War. And your final question of history and politics. Launched this week 30 years ago on the shuttle Discovery, what was the name of the famous space telescope that is still in operation today? So I'm looking for the name of the very famous space telescope that was launched on the space shuttle 30 years ago this week. And it's still in operation. You've definitely heard the name of it. And there's your round 2 roundup. So here we go. So the start of the Gallipoli campaign in 1915 is marked by Australians and New Zealanders today. What is the day known as? Number 2, Francis Crick and James Watson published their article Molecular Structure of Nucleic Acids. It was the first article about the discovery of the structure of what? 3. The Carnation Revolution overthrew the oppressive fascist regime in which European country? In 1974 on this day. On this day as well, in 1859, ground was broke on which major engineering project connecting the Mediterranean to the Red Sea? Also born on this day, 1599, who became Lord Protector of the Commonwealth of England, Scotland and Ireland in 1653 after the English Civil War? And finally, number 6, launched this week 30 years ago on the Space Shuttle Discovery. What is the name of the famous space telescope still in operation today? Okay, that's round 2. Now, a couple of shout-outs to get through. We've got plenty. Scott Perry's playing tonight. Roisin, Sean, the doggy Gus in Uri, and Jared and Jerry in Jared and Jenny in Vancouver. Thank you. I'm sorry it just took me so long to get around to that shout out, but big hello to you guys. Big hello also to Lucy and Sean Gray in Ontario, Canada as well, and Kim and Neville in Northern Ireland. Shout out to Kira Dempsey from Alex and Hannah, Tony, Sarah, Natalie, Angelina and Zoe are playing in Northern Ireland, Yorkshire and the Netherlands. So yes, a very, very international group tonight. Thank you. Just keep the texts coming in. Try to follow me on all the different social medias. I'm on the Instagram, Facebook, Twitter and YouTube. Don't forget to like and subscribe the channel. And if you like what I'm doing, of course, PayPal and Patreon. There is the links there. Okay, moving on to our next round. Movies. Now, here's an interesting one. The movies one tonight is a little bit unconventional, and I think you're going to have fun with it. Coming up, I'm going to show you 6 movie titles. Now, all these movie titles are actually translations of the actual title of the film. So, to give you an example, Dr. No, which was released in 1962, when it was released in Japan, I think they didn't understand it, and they called it There Are No Doctors. So you can understand what it is. So I'm going to give you the foreign title of a movie, and you've got to guess the correct English one. Now, I got these off, I think it might have been Empire website, but yes, these are correct at the time of research. All I can say as a tip is to use some logic. Use your head in this. Okay, so here we go. Question 3, round 3, question 1. If you leave me, I delete you. And that's the Italian title of which film? So round 3, question 1. If you leave me, I delete you. Okay? Again, try to apply logic to this. Round 3, question 2. The Unbelievable Trip in a Wacky Airplane. That was the German title of which film? So round 3, question 2. The Unbelievable Trip in a Wacky Airplane. Okay, get those thinking hats on. Round 3, question 3. His powerful device makes him famous. This was the Chinese title of this particular movie. I'm not going to give you any clues about it. Just try to think from the list that's there what this device could be. And I'm not going to say it, but round 3, question 3. This makes me giggle every time. His powerful device makes him famous. So round 3, question 4. This is the Spanish title for a film called The Crystal Jungle. What is it? What is it in English? So The Crystal Jungle. It's the Spanish title of which very well-known movie? I'll give you a hint. The translation of the actual title of the film doesn't lend itself to Spanish. They don't have an equivalent, so they just called it something else. So that's round 3, question 4. Round 3, question 5. Again, massive giveaway. He's a ghost! It's the Chinese. That's the actual Chinese. I assume it's the actual Chinese title of the film, which was a massive giveaway. It's a definite clue in there, but it was a huge plot spoiler. But he's a ghost. China. That's the Chinese version of that. And the last one, round 3, question 6. Sexy dance. I keep on reading it in Borat style, but sexy dance. Yes, this is the French title for a film which involves dancing in some way, I guess. But yes, sexy dance. And there's your round 3 roundup. That's the movie one. So remember, we're looking for the titles. We're looking for the English language titles of these movies. So number 1, If You Leave Me, I Delete You. Number 2, The Unbelievable Trip in a Wacky Airplane. That's the German title. Number 3, His Powerful Device Makes Him Famous. China. Number 4, The Crystal Jungle. Spain. Number 5, He's a Ghost. China. And number 6, Sexy Dance. France. Alright, so that's your movie round tonight. I hope you all enjoyed that one. It was fun to write, actually, and fun to research. A couple more shout-outs, just to get them out of the way. We got Claire McKeever in New Zealand who's watching. God knows what time it is over there. It's probably 7 o'clock in the morning. We've got Aoife in Raheny who's just texted in saying hello. Barry Sands, he's watching, of course, always with his wife Paula and his friends. Hello to you. Happy birthday to Ian Ryall from girlfriend Nicola in Liverpool. That's a belated birthday from her. And we've got a shout out to Lois and Dan from Joe McAleer. Good to hear from you guys. Keep all the requests coming in. Share using the hashtag BigNerdPubQuiz. I love seeing all the photographs of you guys playing up online. It's really, really cool. Okay, here's your next round for tonight. Now, this is a bit of a different one. I'm going to try something different here. This is a geography round. Now, you'll notice on your answer sheet that the questions, or the answers, are a list of 6 cities. Now, I've got to try this. I'm going to see how it works. Now, this might annoy a lot of people. I don't know. But I'm looking for you guys to take those 6 cities, and I want you to place these European cities in order of population, starting with the highest and ending with the lowest. Now, so basically, answer 1 for round 4. So round will be the first one. It'll be the biggest one, and work your way down. So Try to guess and list them out. The cities in question are Barcelona, Berlin, Brussels, London, Paris, and Rome. Okay? So, once again, this is a very, very different type of question I'm asking tonight. Okay, now bear in mind, I've done my research on this. All city population estimates are from the CIA World Factbook as of 2020. Didn't get them off Wikipedia, didn't get them off Google. I went to a verified source, and all these population estimates are from the CIA World Factbook. So place the European cities in order. So if you think Berlin has the biggest population in Europe, put that as your first answer for question number 1, question 2 for your second, third, fourth, fifth, and the lowest one all the way down at number 6. Okay, I'll give you a couple of minutes to work that one out. But like, place the European cities in order of population. I know it's quite tricky, that. And I give you a hint. Like, put it this way: when I first did the research for this, the city I thought was the biggest wasn't the biggest according to the CIA World Factbook, because I wanted to make sure that my research was tight and make sure that it wasn't going to be questioned. Well, it will. I know ultimately I do get people texting in saying, well, that question was different, or that was. I realize that, but tonight I have copper bottomed this. So the CIA World Factbook is my source. Barcelona, Berlin, Brussels, London, Paris, Rome. I want those cities in order of population. Highest first. So largest first. Interestingly enough, if you remember from last week, the round, I think there was a mistake with the question, which dog won Britain's Got Talent. I actually said which dog won the X Factor. To me, they're the same show. But yes, everybody got that one right. Everyone knew it was Pudsey. But yeah, very, very interesting. Did get picked up on that. But yes, one more time, we'll have a quick look at. So I'm looking Barcelona, Berlin, Brussels, London, Paris, Rome. Okay. Okay, so that is the first half. We're up to round 4 now. So that's the first half of Big Nerd Pub Quiz for this evening. Hope you're all doing well. Hope you're all enjoying the quiz. Don't forget, you're in for a chance to win a t-shirt from Northern Iron Tees, the Big Nerd Pub Quiz t-shirt, the official one. And to announce the night's winner, or of the last one of last Wednesday's, it's Noel Trainer. Noel Trainer, if you're watching tonight, thank you very much. You have won yourself Big Nerd Pub Quiz t-shirt from Northern Iron Tees and a trial pack of Enerzaid energy drink. That's coming to you. I'll be in touch with you for the details, and we'll get those out to you as soon as I can. Also, a couple of little plugs to do tonight. I said I'd do a couple of plugs for my friends' things. So yes, big thing to plug, obviously coming up. We've got the podcast Stuck in Here with You. It's my mates Mary and Jez, who watch the show every week in lockdown. Hot Topic Nightmare, another buddy podcast of mine. Do check that out. It's a really interesting podcast where they get friends of ours to kind of sit and research a topic they've never heard of and then try to blag their way through it for a whole hour. So that's very interesting. But that's the Hot Topic Nightmare. Also check out Banterflix. Those guys kick ass. And Fright Club, the horror movie blog out of Ballymena. And big news tonight. Check out We Should Hang Out More. These are my buddies over in Glasgow, John Markey and Odge, who've released this absolutely amazing track. They released it just there yesterday. It's the Behind the Mayhem from Midnight Riot Records. It's from EP Records. And of course, yours truly actually did the music video. So let's check it out. This is the music video for one of the tracks of the latest Behind the Mayhem, We Should Hang Out More. All right, I hope you guys enjoyed that. That was the latest single from the EP from We Should Hang Out More. I made the video myself, just basically mashed up loads of Japanese ads. I hope you enjoyed it. They're fantastic DJs, and they're actually residents in the Sub Club in Glasgow. And hopefully when we get out of this lockdown, do go check them out. They're absolutely cool. But you check out the link there for We Should Hang Out More. Also, check out thenerdparty.com. And if you want to buy some merch, Big Nerd Pub Quiz merch, go to northerntees.com. Okay, we're going to shoot on now for the next round, round 5. Round 5, as we do every week, is the sports round. Now, every week we've done the sports round. It's always been a quite generic. It's been very, very generic. It's always kind of looked at a range of different sports. But tonight I wanted to do something a little bit different. I've been in a fairly adventurous mood when it comes to messing about with the quiz format. But tonight we're going to have a picture round, and this is one for all the football fans out there. What I'm looking for, you're going to be seeing six iconic football away jerseys from the 1990s. Okay, I've blurred out their logos, but all I want you to do is guess the team. It's that simple. So, coming up, 6 excellent, really cool retro football jerseys from the 1990s, and I want you to guess the football team. Here's your first. Affectionately nicknamed the Bruised Banana. This was a very, very popular jersey in the early 90s, and it's made a bit of a comeback. The team who currently have this shirt have a variation of it since they got reacquired by Adidas to be their main shirt supplier. But what's the team? Iconic, to say the least. Round 5, question 2, another one from the early 90s. This particular shirt was an homage to the very first colours worn by this very famous team. The club was founded in 1872 as Newton Heath FC, and they wore their colours green and yellow. But what team is it? Round 5, question 3. Very iconic sponsor there. Again, if you know your football, you probably definitely work these out immediately from the sponsor. But yes, this another iconic Umbro jersey from the mid 90s. It kind of lent itself, the brothers, to two brothers actually, who were big fans of the club, and they have a very famous photo shoot of them wearing one of the jerseys. But yes, this particular one, another mid 90s classic. I think this one is late 80s, early 90s. Again, the club sponsor should give it away. So yeah, I tried to be as obvious as I could with these. But again, you see these retro designs come back and get repeated again and again. And this one particularly is a classic that's been picked up. But yes, I'm looking for the team. What's the team? Okay, we've left England. We've gone abroad to the continent. Which iconic continental team wore this number in the mid-90s? I believe it was 95. I had the home version of this shirt. I got it when I was on holiday years and years and years ago, and I still have it. And when I bought it, it was about 2 sizes too big for me, but it still fits. And I actually wish I got the away version, because I think the away version kicks ass, but that's the away version. Which football team? A continental team. And finally, an international side here. This is the away strip, or the alternate strip for an away side. I think it was 96. I might have played a clip from it the other week. But yes, very iconic shirt there. Round 5, question 6. International team this time. Go through them quickly one more time. So there's number 1, number 2, number 3, number 4, number 5, and number 6. Okay, I kind of got the inspiration for that round from this website called Classic Football Shirts, and they're guys. I've actually met the two guys who founded it, but they're two guys from Manchester who set up a site to exchange football jerseys, and it's incredible. Like just to browse through it is like a walk through time. It's so nostalgic. Like, and if you're really into your glory days of football, your early Premier League, do check it out. It's at classicfootballshirts.com. There's a couple of other podcasts and all dedicated to classic football jerseys and stuff. But yeah, I hope you enjoyed that. Like, if you're a big kit man like myself, then yes, by all means. Okay, so here we go. Moving on to our next round tonight. Round 6 is our music round. Fairly standard music round tonight. No kind of gimmicks are hidden for this one. They're all just kind of standard music questions from across the years. So we'll just kick off and keep going. Round 6. Here we go. Question 1. So which country did Celine Dion represent in winning the Eurovision Song Contest in 1988? I believe she did it when she was in Ireland. But yes, the Canadian singer Celine Dion. But which country did she represent in the Eurovision Song Contest in 1988? Okay, round 6, question 2. Whose real name was Farouk Bulsara? Pretty sure you'll all get this one, but whose real name was Farouk Bulsara, famous frontman for a legendary band? So yes, I'm pretty sure all of you out there will get this. So yes, round 6, question 2. Whose name was Farouk Bulsara? Round 6, question 3. Which Lou Reed song was released as a charity single for children in need, reaching number 1 for 3 weeks? I think it was back in 1998. I actually have a copy of it. I bought it on CD. But yes, I remember CDs. But yes, remember, round 6, question 3. So which Lou Reed song was released as a charity single for children in need, reaching number 1 for 3 weeks? Round 6, question 4. Which number did Paul Hardcastle take to number 1 for 5 weeks in 1985? This was a very famous glitchy electro tune, one of a pretty early one, and it sampled a very famous American documentary about the Vietnam War. And the title of the song came from a statistic that the average age of an American soldier serving in Vietnam was, and this was sampled over and over again in the song. But yes, which number did Paul Hardcastle take to number 1 for 5 weeks in 1985? Round 6, question 5. All you heavy metal fans out there will get this one. Which song provided Iron Maiden with their only number 1 in January 1991? And it's quite hilarious how they did it. I think they just asked their fans to do it. Like, they were Iron Maiden, along with a lot of metal groups, are very, very album-focused groups. But I think they were playing Earl's Court, and they actually said to their fans, "Here, everybody, buy the single," and they did, and it went to number 1. So yeah, you don't get it if you don't ask. Bruce Dickinson there, actually, he flies his own plane, Ed Force One. So he actually he's a qualified 747 pilot, and flies the Iron Maiden crew and team. I think it's Bruce Dickinson, yeah. I think he flies all over the world in their own jet, in their own like passenger plane. And round 6, question 6. Which US band hit the charts in 1977 with More Than a Feeling? You know the song. So, US band hit the charts in 1977 with the tune More Than a Feeling. Now, interestingly, the riff from that provided inspiration for Smells Like Teen Spirit by Nirvana. And I think Kurt Cobain was just jamming about playing it and, rocked out the iconic chords for Smells Like Teen Spirit. But yeah, that's how that came about. But that's the song. What was the band? 1977, More Than a Feeling. I'm looking for the name of the band. Okay, there's your music roundup for this evening. Which country did Celine Dion represent in winning the Eurovision Song Contest in 1988? Whose real name was Farouk Bulsara? Which Lou Reed song was released as a charity single for children in need, reaching number 1 for 3 weeks in 1998? Which number did Paul Hardcastle take to number 1 for 5 weeks in 1985? Which song provided Iron Maiden with their only number 1 in January 1991? And which band hit the charts in 1977 with the iconic More Than a Feeling? Alright, so here, quick shout out time. We've got, let's see, Donald, Pauline and Dolores who are tuned in. Mane in Graz in Austria. Good to hear from you guys. Sadie Grant and Diane are watching. Frank and the Mathesons are watching in Fife in Scotland. I know you guys very well. Good to hear from you. All my friends and family who are watching all around the world. All the buddies in London. Paul, Rory, Hannah, Phil, Ollie, Theo, Steph, Juliet, Greg, George, Haley I know watches. Yeah, big love to you guys. Thanks for tuning in as always, week in, week out. Love hearing it. But yes, any more here? Oh yeah, Ben, Lou and Cheltenham are playing versus Noni and Jason in Woking. And Eric, Aaron and Scarlett Mooney are playing tonight in Chester. Good to hear from you all. If I don't get a chance to hear from you, don't worry. If you get in early next time, do give us a shout, of course. So here we go. Moving on to our next round this evening, round 7. Round 7 always tends to be a specialist round, and tonight we're going to do it on mythology. So this is going to be a mix of questions based on Greek, Norse, Roman, and Egyptian mythology. Okay, so here we go. Round 7. Question 1. Oh yeah, big shout out to Sarah and Tom. Love you guys. In Wolverhampton. So round 7, question 1. The statue in Piccadilly Circus is the Greek god of love and beauty. What is its name? Sure, you all recognize it. You've been there before. But the Greek god for love and beauty, the statue of is in Piccadilly Circus. What is the name of the statue? Round 7, question 2. In Greek mythology, who was condemned to push a boulder uphill only to have it watch it roll back down again? Terrible, hellish existence that. But anyway, round 7, question 2. In Greek mythology, who was condemned to push a boulder uphill only to have it watch it roll back down again? Okay. Tricky one, that. Round 7, question 3. What is the name of the warrior maidens in Norse mythology that serve Odin and choose who may die in battle and those who may live? Subject to a very famous operatic movement by Wagner. That's your clue. And you'll recognize it. He's using an apocalypse now. That's it. So round 7, question 3. What is the name of the warrior maidens in Norse mythology that serve Odin and choose who may live in battle and those who die? So there you go. Round 7, question 3. Round 7, question 4. In Egyptian mythology, what was Osiris the god of? I'm well aware a lot of these gods have dual roles, but closest best approximation to my research, I did this. But round 7, question 4. In Egyptian mythology, what was Osiris the god of? Round 7, question 5. So a bit more Norse mythology. Which day of the week is named for Odin? So round 7, question 5. A lot of the days of our week are made up of names for old festivals or old times of the week. Some are Greek in origin, some are Roman in origin, some are Norse in origin. But which day of the week is named after Odin? And this terrified me as a child. Round 7, question 6. I never wanted to go near this place because of it. But the Minotaur was a bull-headed monster which lurked in the labyrinth. And he was to be found on which island? So yes, I remember reading this story as a child. But round 7, question 6. The Minotaur was a bull-headed monster which was to be found on which island? The island is real. And like I said, it terrified me the thought that this creature actually might exist there. Okay, your round 7 mythology line up there. So number 1, the statue in Piccadilly Circus is the Greek god of love and beauty. What's its name? 2, in Greek mythology, who was condemned to push a boulder uphill only to have it watch it roll back down? Number 3, the name of the warrior maidens in Norse mythology that serve Odin and choose those who may die in battle and those who may live. Number 4, the Egyptian mythology. What was Osiris the god of? Number 5, which day of the week is named for Odin? And number 6, the Minotaur, bull-headed monster which we find on which island? Okay, we're coming up nearly to the very end of the quiz. We've got one more round left. We might see if we can get some more shout-outs here. Like, they're coming in and flying in thick and fast. We've got Amanda Kinsey Smith. She says, wish my husband Mark Smith a happy lockdown, love. He loved the 90s football shirts, Fine, that's good to hear. Sean Paul McMenamin is listening in. Shannon Adair. Let's see. Jolie Munden, Natalie Lewis and Natalie are playing along in Glasgow. And Darren and Emma in Wexford. That's for love from Derek and Neve. And Charlie says, please say hello to my little beau Harley, who's playing in Reading. Love from Sarah. Charlene Phoebe playing in St. Oyster. Never heard of that. But anyway, really good to hear from you guys. Okay, so final round tonight. Again, another kind of specialist round. I kind of figure I wanted to do something a little bit different tonight. So here we go. Tonight, if you feel you're doing badly in the quiz, then don't despair. The next round is 50-50. You basically have a 50-50 chance per question in this. It's that simple. Any of the questions coming up are like, it's either one or the other. And again, I've done I researched them as best I could to make sure they were factually accurate. But here we go. 50-50. Round 8, question 1. Which is closer to London, Oxford or Cambridge? They're pretty equidistant, let me tell you. And I did research on this based on the centre of London being, which is actually geographically the centre of London is somewhere near Trafalgar Square. It's near the statue of Charles I, I believe. And when you're driving into London and you see a sign 7 miles to London, it's actually 7 miles to that point. So, what is closer to London though, Oxford or Cambridge? Again, these are all very debatable, but I've picked the answer, so according to what is technically correct. Round 8, question 2. Who had more UK number 1 hits? Is it the Rolling Stones or ABBA? So who had more UK number 1s? Is it the Rolling Stones or ABBA? Round 8, question 3. Which of these US states joined the Union first? Texas or Florida? Now, I can say it's within a matter of months, these two. But like America started off with 13 states and gradually accumulated territory and lands all the way up to 1958 and 1959, I believe it was, the last 2 states to add to the American Union. The US states of Texas or Florida, who joined first? Round 8, question 4. Which is the longest horse race of these two? So which is the longer horse race? The Welsh Grand National or the Scottish Grand National? Again, if you don't know, toss a coin. It's that simple. Round 8, question 4. The longer horse race. Which one is the longer horse race? The Welsh Grand National or the Scottish Grand National? My dad will know exactly where these are ran. He'll be screaming at the TV. I know where these are. But yeah. The Welsh Grand National and the Scottish Grand National. Is it Musselburgh, the Scottish one? Correct me if I'm wrong. Do let me know. Round 8 is question 5. Which of these stadiums has the larger capacity? Goodison Park or Stamford Bridge? So Everton or Chelsea? Who has the bigger ground? And again, I double checked this. According to capacity, exceeded capacity. There's a bit fair margin there, so it's not within a couple of hundred seats or whatever. So yes, which of these stadiums have the larger capacity? Goodison Park or Stamford Bridge? All right, and the very final question of tonight's Big Nerd Pub Quiz is: who has more Best Director Oscars? So round 8, question 6. Who has more Best Directors Oscars? Steven Spielberg or Martin Scorsese? 2 Hollywood heavyweights. If you ever get a movie with those guys, you know you've made it. But who's got more Best Director Oscars? We're not counting Best Picture Oscars. We're counting the Oscar, the actual Oscar for Best Director. So one more time to go through those. Which is closer to London? Is it Oxford or Cambridge? Who had more UK number ones, the Rolling Stones or ABBA? Number 3, which of these US states joined the Union first, Texas or Florida? Round 8, question 4, which is the longer horse race, the Welsh Grand National or the Scottish Grand National? Which of these stadiums had the largest capacity, Goodison Park or Stamford Bridge? And who has more Best Director Oscars, Steven Spielberg or Martin Scorsese? Thank you so much for playing. Okay, I know many of you have pressed submit and hit, and you can see your scores. Let me know how you got on. Do post your use the hashtag BigNerdPubQuiz and post on all the social media channels there. I'm on Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, and YouTube. It was absolutely brilliant getting my YouTube certification there the other week. Absolutely love that to bits. If you've enjoyed what I've been doing over the last couple of weeks, and like I said, yeah, we're on week 5 now. It's been an absolute privilege for me to do this since I got home from London, and it's become a job for me. And I want to thank everyone who's been supporting me on Patreon and PayPal. Like I said before, the quiz will always be free to play, and if you can support whatever you can, donating as everyone can donate as little as £1 to the PayPal or become a Patreon. I would really, really appreciate that. Thank you so much, guys. I'm going to keep the quizzes coming. Of course, we've got the Game of Thrones quiz coming on Monday, the 27th of April. I know a load of you are excited for that. So if you're a big Game of Thrones fan, tune in for that. That's Monday, the 27th of April at 8 p.m. May the 4th is going to be the Star Wars one. There is massive interest in that. I'm dreading to see the numbers of people going to be tuned in to watch that. Star Wars fans are the most difficult to please, and none more discerning than Harry Potter fans, of course. Harry Potter quiz Monday, May the 11th, 2020 at 8 p.m. And don't forget about the Big Nerd Kids quiz. I do a kids quiz, 6 rounds of just basic general knowledge for all the kids out there who are looking to pass the time for a wee while. Don't forget my radio show's kicking off on Monday, Zest FM, The Breakfast Show. Going to be playing a wide range of hits there from all those bands that I quite like a lot. Classic 80s hits. And don't forget, if you want some cool Big Nerd Pub Quiz merch, you can buy it off the website, northernirons.com. I am working on a website at the moment. Anyway, so thank you for tuning in, and here's tonight's answers. Now, I know loads of you are dying for this geography one, and loads of you probably going to kill me for it, but like I said, I used a verifiable source. Okay, so here we go. Round 1. The Netherlands was the country that cancelled its league there during the week. Shakespeare was born all those years ago, over 400 years ago. Jim Jones was the leader of the charismatic cult. Kim Il-sung was the first leader of communist North Korea. Only 50 MPs are allowed into the Parliament chamber now during the social distancing. And SpaceX, the company owned by Elon Musk, are the company behind the New Dragon launch platform and the Starlink satellites. Anzac Day. I know the Ches and my listener over in New Zealand would have got that. So Anzac Day is the day that celebrates the start of the Gallipoli campaign. DNA, Crick and Watson. Portugal was the country where the Carnation Revolution happened. Suez Canal broke ground in 1858, I believe it was. Oliver Cromwell, born on this day, and the Hubble Space Telescope. So those crazy movie rounds. So if you leave me, I delete you is Eternal Sunshine of the Spotless Mind. Airplane was the Crazy Adventures in the Airplane, of course. Boogie Nights. I'm not going to go into the explanation of why his device makes him famous, but there you go. Number 3 was Boogie Nights. 4, The Crystal Jungle. Now, like I said, Die Hard, there is no phrase like Die Hard in Spanish. So I believe they just translated into The Crystal Jungle. So, there was lots of glass. He's in a big skyscraper. The Sixth Sense. He's a ghost. That's the biggest giveaway of the title. Why would you even bother going and see it? And then Step Up was Sexy Dance. Okay, so here is round 4. Here's the answers for round 4. And like I said, various sources. But the round 4 answers, according to the CIA fact book, Paris, London, Barcelona, Rome, Berlin, and Brussels. In that order. Now, that's according to the CIA World Factbook. If you have an issue with that, do let the CIA know. I'm sure they won't think you're crazy at all. But yes, do email the CIA if you have an issue with any of those. But I looked on Wikipedia, it gave a different order. But then it's very hard to actually define what is the, how does one define the size of a city? Is it there's many variations of like where London begins and ends, but that is those are the figures I got from CIA Factbook. Okay, so round 5, the football one. I suppose you all got these if you're big football fans. Arsenal, Manchester United, Man City, Liverpool, Barcelona, and England were the teams there. Switzerland was the country represented by Celine Dion in the Eurovision. Freddie Mercury was Farouk Bassara's name. Perfect Day was the single Lisa Lou Reed and the ensemble chorus. Great track. 19 was Paul Hardcastle's tune. Bring Your Daughter to the Slaughter was the track by Iron Maiden that was their only number 1. And Boston, who were the band who wrote More Than a Feeling. Eros is the name of the statue at Piccadilly Circus. Not Cupid. He looks like Cupid, but it's not him. Sisyphus was the person who was charged with bringing the boulder to the top of the hill. The Valkyrie were the maidens to Odin. The Underworld and the Dead was Osiris's role. Wednesday is the name named after Odin, and Crete is the location of the Minotaur. And finally, the round 8 answers for tonight. Cambridge is closer to London. ABBA had more number 1 hits than the Rolling Stones. Florida joined the Union first before Texas. The Scottish Grand National is longer. Stamford Bridge is the bigger ground of the two, and Steven Spielberg has 2 more Oscars than Martin Scorsese's 1. Steven Spielberg won them for Saving Private Ryan and Schindler's List, and Martin Scorsese had to wait all the way to The Departed to get his Oscars. Guys, thank you so much for playing tonight. I've just looked at the figures here. So many of you tuning in and playing across the world. It's absolutely amazing to see it. Thank you so much. Like I said before, like all the social media, get in touch with me, of course, on the Facebook, Twitter, Instagram. I can do a couple more shout outs here just very, very much at the end if I can get them in. I'm so sorry if I've missed you out. Kerry Hunter says, can I get a shout out for Kerry, Donna, Mary, Joanne, Sophie, Stephen playing in Larne. I've got loads of people. Let's see. Sari Law says, thanks so much for the quiz. Shout out to Ian and Sharon, my mum and dad, from Sam and Sari, please. But yeah, we've got another team in Vienna playing tonight. The mixture of Vienna, Graz, and Innsbruck, normally called the Slope Artists. Good to hear from you guys. Thanks for the evening. And Estelle Whiteleaf is playing, and Marie Mack and Aoife Herty are playing as well in Belfast. Thanks for doing this, Mark. No, honestly, it's an absolute pleasure for me to do it. Guys, thank you so much for tuning in. I absolutely love doing this. It's been so much fun. And we're up for, there's more coming. So every Wednesday and Saturday is the Big Nerd Pub Quiz, the standard general knowledge one. You can play on Zoom. I'm starting to think about people doing that. I've seen people organizing their own quizzes on Zoom. But yeah, if you want to use my quiz and organize a Zoom party, by all means, do that. We've got the Game of Thrones quiz coming up Monday, the 27th of April. We've got Star Wars May the 4th and Harry Potter on May the 11th. Add those days to your diary. If you know anyone who likes quizzes and likes anything like this, don't forget to like and share. More people to get involved, the better. I love hearing from you all. And if it's if it's coverage which is good or bad, I honestly don't mind. I love hearing all the feedback. And like I said, I try to make the quiz as best I can. I do it all myself. And my dad, big thanks to my dad who helps me do the fact checking on the answer sheets, because normally that's the thing that gives me the biggest headaches. Do check out my mate's single there, or my mate's EP, the We Should Hang Out More. Yeah, it's totally worth watching. That's the We Should Hang Out More EP on TrackSource and all those other blogs. It's we're all here to support each other throughout this, and it's a really tough time for creatives out there. But like I said, thank you so much for tuning in. I'll see you all again this 27th of April, this Monday, for the Game of Thrones quiz. The Beck's Big Nerd Pub Quiz is on Wednesday, the 29th of April at 8 p.m. All the quizzes are always start at 8 p.m. bar the kids quiz, which is on every Tuesday at 2. You've been a wonderful audience. Thanks again for tuning in. And don't forget to like and subscribe all the social media channels. I'll see you again soon. Good night.